Hi, Dick. Here we are at Wrigley Field. You've had such a remarkable career in broadcasting so many different sports. How does doing the San Diego Padres games rank among all of your accomplishments?
Well, baseball is the best announcer game. That's why I elected on my own terms to leave the network. And I miss tennis, and I miss football, and I miss college basketball. But I'd done baseball with the Angels back for Gene Autry in the 60s and 70s. I tried to play it. I coached it in college. It's obviously, to me, the best announcer game. It's the game in which the play-by-play announcer has more of a role than any other sport. There's time to bring in history and humor and other experiences. And the concept of, well, you think about the Cubs announcers or the White Sox announcers. They're part of the culture and the fabric of Chicago, and probably even more so in San Diego because we are such a parochial area. We have ocean to the west, desert to the east, Tijuana to the south, and two major league teams to the north. So San Diego really, in many ways, is about as parochial and biased as any city in baseball, and to be in essence an ambassador for our city, we have a great city, is part of being a baseball announcer. So that was one of the many attractions that brought me back to the game.
And as you mentioned, there's just such a different pace to baseball compared to football and even basketball in terms of instant action, I guess you would say, right?
Well, on one hand, it is. There's time. I always think of it as Shakespearean. It's a battle between pitcher and batter, one after another, and who can overcome the other. The other 8 players are complementary actors in this whole theater. On the other hand, while the game itself may be slower paced, the season itself is relentless. You know, we're in the midst of a 10-game road trip right now with no days off. We go home and we're right back at it again. And it's part of the challenge of baseball for all of us is getting from game to game to game. And when you're not winning, it's a lot tougher. I mean, it's you take the losses home with you. And it's amazing when you when I'm doing a home game, I'll drive back from the ballpark, and if they've lost, I just feel exhausted. And when they win, I can't wait for to wake up the next morning and get back to the ballpark. So I guess that's just the nature of our national pastime.
And like so many of our great broadcasters in all sports, you have your signature "Oh my" that everyone associates with you. Harry Carey was the holy cow.
Right.
What is that something that just happened, evolved, or planned?
Well, I haven't used it much this year with the Padres. That's a shame. It was something, when I was a graduate student at Indiana, I auditioned for the newly formed Indiana University Sports Network, and I won that job. And I thought, goodness, here I am doing Big Ten football and basketball. I need to have a catchphrase like all the rest. And all the holies were taken, holy cow, holy Toledo, and how about that, and the rest. And Midwesterners use the expression often. My mother used it a lot, oh my. It's acclamation of sorts. You hear 2 women in the checkout stand, and one will be telling the other some story about their son or daughter. Oh my, is that right? Or oh my, that didn't happen. And so it's got many uses in despair and excitement, and it's been a friend of mine for over 50 years now. And whenever I can't think of anything else to say, and the moment deserves it, oh my, comes out.
It still works. It still works. I spoke with Frank DeFord last week, and he talked about the evolution of the sports writing business and the newspaper business in particular. What have you noticed over the decades about the sports broadcasting business that's changed and perhaps it has caught your attention?
Well, when I was a kid, it was black and white radio, and the announcer that did the play-by-play really was everything. Colored men or analysts weren't even part of the structure of radio and television, or even early television. So it's become more of a team operation, the broadcasting end. You have, I work with Mark Grant, and we have 2 chaps, Mike Pomerantz and Mark Sweeney, that are on our pre- and post-game show. We have Layla Rahimi. She's in the stands to give her insights as well. So it's a bigger team in sports. It's not just a one-man show. People are shocked when I tell them back in my day when I was doing the UCLA games for John Wooden's great run, and in 9 years while I was their announcer, they won 8 national titles. You can be a pretty good announcer when that happens. But I had no color man. I did them all myself. I flew solo on all the broadcasts, and that was about it. You know, even when Al and Billy and I were the team at NBC doing the game of the week, that really was the game of the week. Well, that's not that long ago. That's in the 70s and 80s. Now you can get 20 games any given night. That was just one game on a weekend. They rolled out the red carpet and threw rose petals to Al McGuire in those days. So that's the big change, the volume of television sports. And people say, well, the ratings aren't what they used to be. It's because when you did one game, you got a rating of 10. When you do 20 games and you get a half rating on each, you still get a 10. So sports is just as popular, if not more so than ever.
Yeah. Well, aside from the losing, it looks like you're enjoying this this phase of your career.
Yeah, I wake up every morning during the baseball season, and it's really true. I can't wait to get to the ballpark. My dad, we grew up farmers in Michigan, and now and then, as a real treat, Dad would take me and we'd get bleacher seats in Briggs Stadium to watch the Tigers. And the very first time we went into the stadium, he said, now we're in downtown Detroit. Downtown Detroit. When we walk through those doors into that ballpark, we're going to a ballpark. Look at it. It's a beautiful, beautiful park. And every time I come in, Wrigley Field. Isn't that a beautiful ballpark?
You still appreciate it.
It is. Yeah.
Well, thank you for your time. It's great catching up with you.
Okay, Fred. Thanks.